The Hornhead Predator made its debut in the 2016 comic series Predator: Life and Death, which ran for 4 issues, and its next and tragically the last appearance is in Alien vs. Predator: Life and Death. Even though it's just a quick cameo, he shows up 43 years after the events of the movie Aliens and only a year after Fire and Stone, which came out in 2014. We're ready to jump on into his origins, but before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we do have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Now, without any further ado, let's begin. What do we know about the Hornhead? Hornhead, also called Champion, is the toughest fighter in the Tartarus clan on planet LV-797. He's a top-notch Yautja warrior, and you can't miss him thanks to the big horns on his head, which give him a pretty fierce look and make him stand out from the other predators. Some have even mentioned that he gives off a devilish aura. He's shown as a huge maroon-skinned predator with short dreadlocks, carrying a sword and some cool advanced tech, including a mask that he can take off. Not many people realize this, but the Hornhead's maroon color is pretty significant, as maroon usually stands for strength, power, and confidence. The color visually marks him as a champion and an elite warrior within his clan, reinforcing the status and the respect he commands among his peers. Even though it has maroon-colored skin, it looks green in issue 2 of Predator: Life and Death, and in some panels of Alien vs. Predator: Life and Death. Hornhead is on the front cover of issue 3 of Predator: Life and Death, even though he only shows up in a few quick scenes in the comic. Hornhead's role in the Predator mythos featuring comics. Hunt on Tartarus. Predator: Life and Death by Dan Abnett and illustrator Brian Albert Thies sticks to the classic Predator storyline, but also implements some other elements from the broader universe. You know, kind of like a crossover. Hornhead and his tribe touch down on the planet LV-797 and come across the large alien vessel Juggernaut. The ship is quite massive and asymmetrical, resembling a wishbone or a horseshoe. It has thick sections in the middle and 2 horns that bend upwards. The tribe wanted to discover the secrets of the abandoned ship, so they protected it from intruders. They specifically guarded against a Seegson excavation team that came to take resources from the planet. This team was replacing the original buyer, Weyland-Yutani, which is why the tribe killed most of the crew members. Because there were concerns about Seegson's activity on the planet, the combat ship Hasdrubal, along with its crew of 33 United States Colonial Marines, led by Captain Paget, was sent to check things out in issue number 1 of Predator: Life and Death. As soon as the ship touched down, most of the crew members armed themselves and began to fan out to explore the area and see if there were any trespassers. The scouting mission was divided into several groups. One team discovered a few survivors, while the others ventured deeper into the dense forested terrain. The fire team, consisting of Chimo, Garland, and Herman, was patrolling the area when suddenly Predator Hornhead unleashed his shoulder cannon, taking down one of them. While the rest were in shock and firing aimlessly everywhere, Hornhead kills Garland with blood splattering from his mouth and then moves to his last remaining target and kills him with a large bladed weapon. Colonial Marine Rucker was leading a sizable team on an exploration when a predator ambushed them under the command of Hornhead. Tragically, all of Rucker's team members were killed during the fierce battle, leaving him as the sole survivor facing the deadly creature. I mean, a group of 5 or 6 people, all decked out with weapons, can't even take down a predator who's got wrist blades, a shoulder cannon, and maybe some retractable claws. It was a fierce battle, leaving the predator wounded, and Rucker tracks the trail of its greenish blood until he locates it. Once he does, he unleashes his smart gun until the creature takes its last breath. Little does Colonel Rucker know that Hornhead and his tribe just surrounded him. Just as Hornhead points his plasma caster, Sergeant Roth and his squad close in on Rucker after they pick up the sound of gunfire, making Hornhead retreat. Roth instructs his squad to save the survivors and then fall back to the landing site. After extensive discussions with the rest of his crew, Paget formulated a plan to secure the abandoned ship. Meanwhile, Hornhead has decided to launch an ambush on the squad in the planet's dense jungles. An intense fight breaks out with Hornhead inside the Juggernaut, while his fellow clan members clashed with the remaining Marines on the ground. The Marines, realizing their untenable position, ultimately decided to retreat to prevent any chance of losing the Juggernaut. Hornhead worked desperately to stop the liftoff inside the Juggernaut, but sustained grave injuries as issue 4 ended. Events prior to Hornhead's arrival on planet LV-223. Hornhead next appears in the comic Alien vs. Predator: Life and Death but many events occurred before his arrival. For instance, after Predator Life and Death, the next sequence of events takes place in Prometheus Life and Death, where one team of Marines was able to take control of the alien vessel and the remaining Marines made it back to their ship, Hasdrubal. They were about to enter the Ganymede station where U.S. Colonial Marines operations were taking place, when the pilot of the alien vessel Juggernaut, a very distinct godlike alien entity known as an engineer, took control of their ship and changed the trajectory to a new planet, LV-223. Some call this planet the Prometheus Moon. These engineers are somewhat invincible. Nothing can kill them, no matter how much you shoot at them, but they can kill you with a flick of their fingers. Once they arrive at the new planet, the survivors on the alien ship manage to escape and find themselves face to face with the ravenous xenomorphs. They fend off several of the creatures, and just when it seems like they're not going to make it out alive, survivors from an earlier mission who had been stranded on the planet come to their rescue, guiding them to safety. Strangely, they have the predator Ahab as a companion, and they are surviving and fighting off xenomorphs together. Some are suspicious of the bond, as they just fought a bunch of them off who actually wanted them dead. With survival chances low, the Marines, previous survivors, decide to distract the engineers, because now there are two of them, and board the massive alien ship to escape to safety. Only 3 make it inside, the rest are left stranded when one of the engineers returns and takes off. The storyline continues in the Alien Life and Death comics. USCM backup has finally arrived on planet LV-223, and they return to their orbiting Marine ship with all the survivors they met. Meanwhile, Chris, a survivor from the mission assigned on planet LV-223, is taken by xenomorphs into their hive nest. When the USCM discovers that one of their members is still alive, they plan a rescue mission back to the planet, with Captain Paget leading the charge. During their return, the rescue team is pleasantly surprised to meet Galgo, who they thought to be dead, along with his companion Ahab the Predator, who is also alive. Together, they plan their way to the hive to save Chris, but unbeknownst to them, they're entering a trap set up by xenomorphs to prevent them from rescuing Chris. But why is Chris so important to them? Well, because Chris is the only person carrying the last viable queen embryo, since the present queen xenomorph is infertile. Chris uses her death as leverage to pull the xenomorph horde away from Paget and her troops. While the queen xenomorph fights the all-powerful engineer, who is dead set on wiping out all humans to save her legacy, the Marines are trying to escape and connect with the ship Hasdrubal, which is not responding to their call. It seems like someone is awake again and has taken out their vengeance. We might have digressed from the main topic of our discussion, but we needed to form some base to introduce Hornhead back into the discussion, who appears like after 3 comic issues. But let's jump right back to where we left him. Alien vs. Predator, Life and Death, the last appearance of Hornhead. The final panel of Aliens Life and Death leaves us on a cliffhanger when it reveals Hornhead's position just as the Marines send their distress calls to Hasdrubal. All of the crew inside the combat ship, who are awaiting rescue team's arrival on the ship, have already been killed by Hornhead, who has recovered from his grave injuries. He's not alone either. His clan has secretly boarded the ship and is now making their way to planet LV-223 to eliminate the remaining troops. The clan reached and found the Marines located within an engineer temple. Predator Ahab, who has been helping the Marines fight off xenomorphs and is a companion with Galgo, stands before their leader. They both stare at each other down, which could only indicate one thing: a violent clash would ensue soon. The leader chooses Hornhead for the duel, as he is regarded as the strongest warrior of the tribe, the champion. A lethal duel ensues between him and Ahab. However, certain conditions were laid out before the main fight kicked off. If Hornhead wins, the clan will do what they came to do, and if Ahab wins, the clan will accept Ahab into their clan and stop fighting. In this one-on-one battle without any weapons, Hornhead soon realized he was outmatched and nowhere near Ahab, so he dishonorably took out his wrist blades and launched at Ahab, plunging them directly into his shoulder. However, Ahab still emerged victorious. He drew his own wrist blades in response, cut off Hornhead's right arm, and slashed open his belly, leading to his death and the last appearance of Hornhead in the AVP universe. Personality and abilities of Hornhead. Hornhead's personality came off as a pretty full-of-himself warrior who didn't mind playing dirty if it meant protecting his reputation. Unfortunately, that attitude ended up costing him his life. When it comes to his abilities, Hornhead is basically the top dog of the Tartarus clan. He's got wild, strong physical power, which is way stronger than the other predators. Plus, his endurance levels are off the charts, letting him take a ton of damage in fights and keep on going until he catches his opponents off guard. Weapons used by Hornhead: Plasma Caster and Biomask. Like any other predator, Hornhead is skilled in using the advanced tech they have in their arsenal. He was first seen using the plasma caster, which is mounted on his shoulder to shoot multiple long-range bolts of charged plasma. The target can be set through their biomask, and it uses a triangular formation of a three-pointed targeting laser sight. The biomask protects a predator's head and face. It also gives the wearer different vision modes, including zoom. The mask helps with vocal mimicry and has a breathing device as well. It includes systems for diagnostics and for recording visual and audio data. Wrist blades. He launches a surprise assault on Marine Garland from behind using his wrist blades to strike swiftly. Wrist blades, also called gauntlet knives, are the simplest weapons the Yautja uses. These blades are retractable and can be serrated. They range from 6 to 18 inches long and 2 to 8 inches wide. The blades extend from a gauntlet worn on the back of the wrist. The blades are so sharp that they can cut through bone, and they can occasionally be fired as a shell from their gauntlet. Combi stick. Hornhead's next weapon of choice is a combi stick, which looks similar to a spear. The combi stick is a telescopic weapon that is compact for storage but can extend fully for combat. It is made from a lightweight yet strong material, helpful in close quarters combat, and can be thrown like a spear. Hornhead wields this stick to smash through the front part of Bus ship which Singer was operating. If you're wondering who Singer is, he's a member of the USCM who is mostly seen in the comics, managing the technical aspects of marine operations, such as repairing and operating a vessel's mechanical and electrical systems, including engines, propulsion systems, and various other equipment. Wrist gauntlet. The wrist gauntlet device is worn around the wrist of most predators, which features a digital countdown displayed in their Yautja language. It's primarily used to trigger destruction and can reportedly obliterate or severely damage an area as expansive as 300 city blocks, although some question the accuracy of that claim. We caught a glimpse of this device on Hornhead's wrist just as he was preparing to initiate detonation to prevent the alien vessel Juggernaut from taking off while he was on board with the Marines. Sword. Hornhead carries a large sword on his back. This Yautja sword is longer and sharper than regular human swords, and he wields it with great skill, showcasing his expertise. The sword is also very durable and has become his favorite weapon, highlighting his ability to handle it well and making it his signature weapon. Armor. Hornhead wears large, strong shoulder pads. He has a simple loincloth with protective plates on the sides made from a special Yautja Prime material which humans don't know about. His small knee pads allow him to move easily, and his anklets are also made from the same Yautja material. Marvelous verdict! Well, that sums up all the information we have on our champion Predator. We sure would have loved to see more of him, but it seems like his death was final. What a bummer. But do you agree that his ego led to his demise, or was Ahab just way more skilled and a better fighter than him? If we missed something about Hornhead, or if you have a theory about where he might pop up next, which we know sounds a little impossible at the moment, let us know in the comments section down below. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Until next time, take care and keep enjoying our awesome content.